Good evening and welcome to TC Network. I am Tingnay Tim Hokip bringing you today's news. Today's top headlines include ICJ appeals to India to immediately hold forced returns of Myanmar refugees. Truck loaded with LPG gas cylinders met with accident, 2 injured. News in details. Barely a week after Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh had announced on X that his government had completed the first phase of deportation of 77 refugees who had entered the northeastern state from Myanmar, the International Committee of Jurists (ICJ) has urged India to immediately hold their forced returns to the strife-torn country and respect the non-refoulement principle. In a press note on May 10, the Geneva-based human rights organization that works for developing international rights standards through the law said the Indian authorities' forced return of 77 Myanmar refugees violates the principle of non-refoulement, and any further plans to forcibly return more Myanmar refugees must be immediately halted. The organization that comprises of eminent judges, lawyers, and academics said the Indian authorities must immediately halt all further forcible returns of Myanmar refugees from Manipur and should instead offer protection and support to those seeking safety from serious harm in line with the non-refoulement principle and India's other obligations under international human rights law. The incitement of discrimination, hostility, or violence against Myanmar refugees in relation to the ongoing violence must also be stopped and prohibited. It said deportation would expose them to a real risk of serious harm arising from the escalating conflict between Myanmar, military junta, and resistance groups. The non-refoulement principle is the cornerstone of international protection under international law, including under customary international law, and is, therefore, binding on all states. In addition, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights (ICCPR) and the Convention on the Rights of the Child (CRC), by which India is bound as a state party, guarantee protection against refulsion, it underlined. On May 10, Biren Singh had taken to X once again to announce that 5,457 illegal immigrants from that country had been detected in Manipur, whose biometrics had been collected, and the deportation process is underway. ICJ expressed concern at the announcement, stating, "The circumstances in which such collection is taking place are coercive and contrary to the principle of prior informed consent, which should be a prerequisite to collection." It said that is also concerned that such sensitivity data may be used to carry out arbitrary arrest and detention. According to a rough estimate, over 6,000 people from Myanmar had taken refuge in Manipur, which shares a 398-kilometer-long border with Myanmar. The chief minister moved to deport and collect biometrics of the refugees finds resonance among the state's majority community, the Métis, who have been accusing the Kuki community of Manipur of harboring foreigners during the recent ethnic strife. The largest number of Myanmar refugees have, however, slipped into Mizoram, which borders Manipur. Mizoram shares a 510-kilometer-long border with Myanmar. Since the Mijos share kinship with people living across the international border, the refugees have not faced any local resistance. While the former Mizoram Chief Minister, Zoramthanga, had refused the order of the Narendra Modi government to push back the refugees, the current Chief Minister, Laldu Oma, too has taken a similar line on the matter. Additionally, both the state government and the Mizo civil society groups have expressed opposition to the Modi government's recent decision to drop the free movement regime with Myanmar, which would mean no free movement of people within the 16-kilometer radius across the international border. This May 16, Mizoram would see a public rally against the center decision to be led by one of the powerful civil society body, the Joy Unification Organization, JORO. Today at around 11 a.m., a truck carrying LPG gas cylinder met with accident at Guite Road. The truck was reported to carry a load of LPG gas cylinder and was traveling from Aizawl towards Lamka. A truck bearing registration number AS11DC8314 met with an accident today at Guite Road at Talpi between Suongdo and Tuivelzang. The truck runs off the culvert. The driver and handyman were injured, but luckily it was reported to be not serious. On getting the news, Zomi Youth Association Suongdo rushed to the scene and gives the necessary assistance required. The two injured were taken into Singat CHC where they are undergoing treatment. ZYAB Suongdo and the local residents bring together the gas cylinders which were scattered everywhere, even down the bluff and areas beneath the culvert, and put them together besides the highway. The gas truck belongs to Sial Ngen Thang and Sons Gas Agency, Lamka. As per the calendar of National Legal Service Authority, NALSA, the District Legal Services Authority Churachandpur organized the second National Lok Adalat for the year 2024, today, the 11th of May 2024 at District and Sessions Court Churachandpur from 10:30 a.m. There is one bench which was presided by Tuong Min Thang Haokip, Judicial Magistrate First Class, Firjol Advocate Chinglun, and Janice Vung Biak Ching Counselor as bench members. A total of 12 cases were taken up and the same were settled. 3 matrimonial dispute cases pending before the courts in Churachandpur and 6 loan defaulters, 1 civil case and other were also taken up and settled amicably. A total amount of rupees 2,01,019.57 rupees was settled in the said Lok Adalat. DLSA Churachandpur expresses its heartfelt gratitude to all the LD advocates, staff of the courts, bank officials, parties, and all others who have made this Lok Adalat a success. The National Lok Adalat organized by District Legal Services Authority, DLSA Churachandpur, in collaboration with Manipur State Legal Services Authority was held from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. The Namdilong Village Authority, a Naga-inhabited village in Kangla Tombi areas of Imphal West, has claimed that 4 unidentified mass individuals reportedly belonging to the Meitei community had looted approximately rupees 50,000 from the house of a Naga community in the Namdilong under Imphal West on May 8. In a statement, the village authority stated that the incident happened around 6:30 p.m., wherein 4 unidentified male individuals suspected to be from Meitei community forcefully entered the home of Tangam Thuibo Ringkangmay, 43, belonging to a Naga community, brandishing firearms and subsequently looted approximately 50,000 rupees. Stating that the incident occurred between the LNBA sub-centered church in Namdilong, Kangla Tombi. The authority added that the wife and children of Tangam Thuibo Ringkangmay, who bore witness to the ordeal, were grappling with the profound impact of the trauma inflicted upon them. Such an egregious act not only leaves an indelibly negative mark on the mental well-being of women and children, but also underscores the urgent need for collective action to prevent its reoccurrence, said the village authority. Vehemently condemning the criminal activities perpetrated on them by the armed miscreants, the victim's family, alongside concerned members of the community, have demanded the state government to take decisive action to stem the tide of illegal activities. Of a particular concern is the prevalence of illicit demand letters circulating in the area, which not only sow seeds of fear but also pose a grave threat of escalating conflicts to perilous levels, the statement said, while earnestly appealing the government officials to undertake immediate and concerned efforts to address such a pressing issue. The village authority also asserted that it was imperative for the concerned authorities to conduct thorough investigation and implement robust measures to combat such unlawful practices, thereby restoring a sense of security and tranquility to the community. Failure to heed this urgent call to action may compel the affected parties to pursue further recourse to safeguard their rights and well-being. It warned, adding that time intervention is essential to not only redress the grievances of the aggrieved but also to prevent the perpetuation of injustice and ensure a safer, more equitable future for all. Further stating that the villagers, as residents of the buffer zone, have consistently exercised the utmost restraint, prioritizing peace above all else, the village authority also cautioned against interpreting their commitment to peace as a sign of weakness. Our history is imbued with resilience and fortitude, and we refuse to yield in the face of adversity. Should such provocations persist within our jurisdiction, we may be compelled to retaliate, risking the escalation of the conflict beyond repair. Let this serve as a clear warning against further acts of aggression as we remain committed to peace but steadfast in our resolve to protect our community, it stated. Today at around 2 p.m., ITLF Relief and Medical Department Convener Mangcha Thangzon gives a detailed report on the ITLF Relief and Medical Department on the distribution of relief materials to the IDPs and frontline volunteers at YMA Hall, Muyabeng. The total amount of relief materials distributed by the ITLF since the beginning of the conflicts are provided as under: 1,362.15 kg of dal, which costs 34,73,100 rupees. 5,027 bags of rice, which costs 1,54,000 rupees. The dal and rice were distributed to the different areas as given. Rice 1,038 bags and 292 kg, dal 22.27 kg to Sangaikot area. Pungchongzang area received 1,308 bags of rice and 369.7 kg of dal. Zalianpai area received 1,276 bags of rice and 400 kg of dal. Khostabung Center received 722.5 bags of rice and 227.8 kg of dal. Changpikot area received 36 bags of rice and 12 bags of dal. Loklaipai area received 997 bags of rice and 313 bags of dal. Dampi Center received 225 bags of rice and 65 bags of dal. 274 bags of rice were distributed over Khodang, Valpakot, Sajik Tampak, Sugnu, Molnoy, Kana area, Tingnopal, More, respectively. Mangcha expressed his gratitude to everyone who contributes and takes part. Saran Parmoy, Secretary ITLF Women Wing, also gives a report on the relief items donated by the public on May 1, 2024. So far, the following were donated for the frontline volunteers by the public: 330 bags of 50 kg rice, 142 bags of 25 kg rice, along with certain amounts of potato, dal, egg, cooking oil, onion, salt, sugar, and Nutrela. The ITLF Women Wing will organize this donation program on the 15th of May again, and as such they requested the public to generously contribute and donate for the village volunteers, citing all the generous donors, and further requested the people to actively take part in the upcoming donation program. The 46th Assam Rifles, also known as the Khuga Battalion, stationed near Khugadam, organized a medical camp today at around 9:30 a.m. The medical camp was conducted at Vangpai village and its surrounding villages and relief camps. The medical camp was organized under the supervision of Inspector General Assam Rifles South, and the AR organized this medical camp mainly for the internally displaced persons who cannot afford proper medical treatment due to their lamentable situation. The medical team employed doctors and nurses from 46 Assam Rifles Unit Hospital. Also, doctors from private and district medical department joined the medical camp, where they give satisfying medical checkup and treatment to the displaced persons. The Assam Rifles also give free medicines to the patients based on their needs and sickness. The medical camp was supervised by Brigadier Michael D. Souza, Commander 27th Sector Assam Rifles. The medical camp was attended by residents of Vangpai, Bisanmol, and the nearby villages and relief centers, where a total of 500 people were given medical treatment. The 46 Assam Rifles were grateful to the attendees of today's medical camp. Mention may be made that the 46 Assam Rifles had been organizing medical camps since the initiation of this ongoing conflict. They had held medical camps in other villages such as Mata and Singat, and also in various relief centers as well under the team's Civic Action Program. The doctors who attended today's medical camp are Dr. Thanglal Muang Naixiel, Dr. Gensong Tombing, Dr. Lunboy, Dr. Niemlal Siem, Dr. N.K. Gina, Dr. Thangzamang, and Dr. Anandu, respectively. The Assam Rifles extended their generosity by providing refreshment to all the attendees as well. The upcoming 7th edition of the joint military exercise between India and France is set to commence from May 13 to 26 in Umroi, Meghalaya. This joint exercise, aimed at enhancing the joint military capabilities of both nations, holds significant importance in fostering cooperation and strategic coordination between Indian and French armed forces. The primary objective of the exercise is to bolster the joint military capability of both sides, specifically focusing on multi-domain operations in a subconventional scenario. This includes tactical exercises and simulations designed to improve the readiness and effectiveness of troops in diverse operational environments. The exercise is expected to facilitate the development of interoperability, allowing seamless coordination and communication between the armed forces of India and France. It will also promote bonhomie and camaraderie among personnel from both nations, fostering a spirit of mutual understanding and cooperation. The joint military exercise comes at a crucial juncture, highlighting the strong bilateral ties and defense cooperation between India and France. Such collaborative efforts not only strengthen defense capabilities, but also contribute to regional and global security initiatives. The participating troops from both countries will engage in rigorous training sessions, exchange best practices, and leverage each other's expertise to enhance operational effectiveness. The exercise will encompass a range of activities, including joint drills, live fire exercises, and tactical maneuvers, showcasing the high level of professionalism and proficiency of the armed forces involved. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi on Friday said that he was 100% ready to take on Narendra Modi in a public debate amid the Lok Sabha polls, but expressed confidence that the Prime Minister will not agree, reported PTI. Gandhi made the remark at a Samvidhan Sammelan Constitution Conference event in Lucknow organized by the Samruddha Bharat Foundation. The MP from Kerala's Wayanad Lok Sabha constituency also said at the event that his party had made mistakes and would have to change its politics in the future, though he did not specify the nature of changes that the party plans to implement. This will have to be done, Gandhi said. I also want to say that the Congress party has also made mistakes, and I'm saying this while being from the Congress party. Justices Madan Lokur and A.P. Shah, former judges of the Supreme Court and the Delhi High Court, respectively, along with former editor of The Hindu N. Ram, had on Tuesday invited Modi and Gandhi to participate in a public debate. A public debate on a non-partisan and non-commercial platform would greatly benefit citizens and strengthen the democratic process, the former judges and the journalists said in their letter to the two political leaders. A public debate such as this would therefore set a great precedent, not just by educating the public, but also in projecting the true image of a healthy and vibrant democracy, it added. The leader said that the leaders of both Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party and Gandhi's Congress had raised important questions while campaigning for the polls. The Prime Minister has publicly challenged the Congress on reservation, Article 370 and wealth redistribution, it said. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge had questioned the Prime Minister on possible mutilation of the Constitution, electoral bond scheme, and the government's response to China, and also challenged him to public debate. The letter said that both the parties have asked each other questions about their respective manifestos, as well as their stand on the constitutionally protected scheme of social justice. The former judge and the veteran journalist, however, expressed concern that the question have not evoked meaningful responses from either side. Justices Lokur and Shah, along with N. Ram, also proposed the option for either leader to nominate a representative to partake in the debate if they were unable to attend. Gandhi on Friday proposed that Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge could participate in the debate as well. Several parts of the country are likely to witness a wet spell accompanied by thunderstorms and lightning on Saturday, the Indian Meteorological Department (IMD) said. Light to moderate rainfall accompanied by thunderstorms and lightning is likely to overtake Uttarakhand, Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan during the next 3 hours, IMD posted on X. The weather department also predicted light rainfall accompanied by thunderstorms and lightning, also likely over South Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, and West Uttar Pradesh. Light rainfall accompanied with thunderstorms and lightning is also likely over South Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, West Uttar Pradesh, Meghalaya, Southeast Arunachal Pradesh, Southeast Assam, Manipur, South Interior Karnataka and Kerala during the next 3 hours, it added. On Friday night, Delhi police received 152 calls related to tree uprooting, 55 calls related to building damage, and 202 calls related to power disruption. After days of heightened temperatures, Delhi NCR witnessed a major thunderstorm, strong winds and rainfall on Friday evening, causing traffic disruptions and flight diversion in the national capital. Adjoining areas like Noida and Ghaziabad also experienced a sudden and intense dust storm. Delhi airport sources said that due to bad weather, 9 flights heading to the city were diverted to Jaipur. Traffic was also affected in the national capital and the adjoining areas, as trees fell on the roads due to the gusty winds. Several cars were also damaged in Sector 58 of Noida after a shuttering installed to repair a building fell on the vehicles. Day after Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal came out of the Tihar jail, he said on Saturday that he is fighting dictatorship and will continue to do that in order to save the country from such forces. "Did not I tell you I'll be back soon? I am back," he added. "I am fighting against dictatorship with all I have. Now 140 crore of us have to do that," Kejriwal told AAP supporters in Delhi. On Saturday morning, he visited the Hanuman temple at Connaught Place. When he was released from jail on Friday, party workers, leaders like Bhagwan Mann and Kejriwal's wife Sunita waited outside in anticipation of his release. Later today, Kejriwal will conduct roadshows in South and East Delhi along with Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwan Mann. The Supreme Court on Friday granted Delhi CM Kejriwal interim bail for 21 days. They instructed him to surrender on June 2. A day after the last phase of the Lok Sabha elections, Modi ji wants to crush Aam Aadmi Party. He has a dangerous mission of one nation, one leader. Continuing his attack on the BJP, he said, "It is my assessment that BJP is not forming the government on June 4. The India bloc will form the government and AAP will be part of that government." Kejriwal was arrested on March 21 by the Enforcement Directorate over an alleged excise policy scam. He became the first sitting chief minister in India to be jailed. Kejriwal questioned why he did not resign when arrested, stating that AAP's strong support in Delhi ensured they could not be defeated for the next 2 decades. He believed his resignation would lead to the downfall of the AAP government. Kejriwal asserted he would continue running the government even from jail, citing Hemant Soren's resignation as unnecessary. He further predicts that the BJP won't form the government on June 4. He estimates they will get 220 to 230 seats. Instead, he believes the India bloc will lead, with AAP as a part of it. He promises full statehood for Delhi and a governor chosen by the people, not appointed from Gujarat. The Biden administration said Israel's use of U.S. supplied weapons may have violated international humanitarian law during its military operation in Gaza, in what seems to be the strongest criticism to date of its long-standing ally in the Middle East. But the administration stopped short of a definitive assessment, saying that due to the chaos of the war in Gaza, it could not verify specific instances where the use of those weapons might have been involved in alleged breaches, Reuters reported. The assessment came in a 46-page unclassified State Department report to Congress required under a new National Security Memorandum (NSM) that President Joe Biden issued in early February. The finding risks soaring of ties with Israel at a time when the allies are increasingly at odds over Israel's plans to strike Rafah, a move Washington has warned against. The Biden administration has already put a hold on one package of arms in a major policy shift and said that U.S. was reviewing others even as it reiterated long-term support for Israel. The State Department's report included contradictions. It listed numerous credible reports of civilians harm and said Israel did not, as first, cooperate with Washington to boost humanitarian assistance to the enclave. But in its instance, it said it could not make a definitive assessment whether any breaches of law had occurred, the Reuters report added. Given Israel's significant reliance on U.S.-made defense articles, it is reasonable to assess that defense articles covered under NSM-20 have been used by Israeli security forces since October 7, in instances inconsistent with each IHL obligations or with established best practices for mitigating civil harm, the State Department said in the report. Israel has not shared complete information to verify whether U.S. defense articles covered under NSM-20 were specifically used in actions that have been alleged as violations of IHL or IHRL in Gaza, or in the West Bank and East Jerusalem during the period of the report, it said. Because of that, the administration said it still finds credible Israel's assurance that it is using U.S. weapons in accordance with international law. U.S. officials at the State Department have been divided over the issue. Reuters reported in late April that officials in at least 4 bureaus inside the agency have raised serious concerns over Israel's conduct in Gaza, laying out specific examples where the country might be in breach of the law. Rights group Amnesty International in late April said U.S. supplied weapons provided to Israel had been used in serious violations of international humanitarian and human rights law, detailing specific cases of civilian deaths and injuries and examples of use of unlawful lethal force. Israel has refused to bow down to the U.S. warnings of withholding more weapons if Israel launched an assault on Rafah city amid the prolonged war in Gaza. On Thursday, Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu, in a punchy clip on the X platform, said, "If we have to stand alone, we will stand alone and fight to the nail." Netanyahu's tweet came after U.S. President Joe Biden said he would not supply offensive weapons to Israel if it attacks Rafah. In an interview with Phil McGraw, the American talk show host known as Dr. Phil, Netanyahu said, "I have known Joe Biden for many years, 40 years and more. We often had agreements, but we have had our own disagreements, and we have been able to overcome them. I hope we can overcome them now." Since the October 7 attack by Hamas on Israel, the latter's military has pledged to eradicate the U.S.-designated terrorist group from the Gaza region. Therefore, Netanyahu on Thursday reiterated that Israel would go to Rafah to finish off the remaining battalions of Hamas. "We have to achieve victory," he said. "That means we have to destroy all these battalions, which we will. We face very strong opposition to that, but we are going to overcome it," the Israeli Prime Minister said. "Hamas will murder again and again if allowed to survive in Rafah," Netanyahu added. The Hamas October 7, 2023 attack killed some 1,200 people in Israel and around 250 abducted by the militants. However, following Hamas attack, Israeli forces retaliated by killing more than 30,000 civilians, as per the Palestinian Health Ministry. During the initial months of the war, the U.S. backed its ally Israel by providing weapons. However, after Israel Defense Forces attacked some U.S. and UN aid workers near the Gaza border, Washington asked Israel to hold the violent approach. This week, U.S. President Biden said he would hold additional shipments of offensive weapons to Israel if it launches a ground invasion of Rafah, decrying the potential loss of civilian life as just wrong. White House officials insisted that the U.S. would stand by its ally while urging Netanyahu to refrain from an assault that could worsen the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. In the April 4 call, soon after 7 War Central Kitchen aid workers were killed in an Israeli airstrike, Biden gave Netanyahu an ultimatum: protect citizens and aid workers, or else U.S. policy would change, reported Reuters. Last week, the U.S. withheld a shipment of thousands of heavy bombs out of concern over Israeli slow-rolling assault in Rafah. That is all for today's news, and have a pleasant evening ahead.